more than likely I can teach you. You know, it's that simple. If you just give me your attention, usually I need your undivided attention, but if you give me that attention, I've so-called, I'm not bragging, but have performed miracles with some people.
Punters, how's it going? This is CueBall's Bearded Rambles, episode 26. Amazing. It's nearly at the big 3-0. So on today's episode of the Rambles, we have the head trainer and the owner of Knockout Pro Wrestling and Valley's Championship Wrestling. Wrestling. Yeah. Wrestling. Yeah, in the wrestling. This is none other than Andrew James.
Hello, everybody.
Yeah, it's been a while. April.
It has.
No, when you couldn't ring the bell, but it's okay. I'll you know.
You lot are deaf. I did ring that bell.
I've watched the footage back, and I didn't hear any bell ringing apart from when
I even shouted ding. I even shouted ding ding.
Only because I asked for it. I got you, and everybody else just started shouting for it, so it went over. You know.
Just keep all on your toes, ours.
Yeah, definitely.
Part of training, ours.
Yeah. Well, there we go. Yeah, I agree. There we go. Anything can happen in wrestling, and you proved
That's
it.
Right.
So how have you been since April, anyway?
Good, very good. Working and missing the wrestling, missing the guys, but what can you do? Just get on with it.
Yeah.
Drinking gin and staying off Facebook as much as I can.
Yeah. Yeah, you have your gin o'clocks, honest opinion moments and all that. They're quite famous.
I've learned my lesson.
Sorry?
I've learned my lesson. I drink Jameson's now.
Listen, Andrew Jameson's, that's the new brand is. And also, I noticed we got the same T-shirt on as well.
Yeah.
There we go.
Excellent. Well done.
We're friends. Bloody hell. So, anyway, this is going to be the first question to you, Andrew. The question, as you know, I like to ask everybody because everybody's got a unique story. So how and why did you get into the wrestling business?
I got into wrestling back in 1985. I was bullied in school, and throughout my comprehensive school, I was bullied from year 1 to year 5. And a friend of mine went to Canada on a rugby tour and came back with a wrestling magazine with the Malenkos addressing it. I've been watching World of Sport since I was a kid as well, or Rollo Rocco and all people like that. And me and my brother used to wrestle after 4 o'clock on a Saturday afternoon after the wrestling finished. He'd throw me around the cupboards, beat me up, and I think he's 4 years older than me, so he beat the hell out of me. And like I say, this boy brought a magazine back, and the dress was in there. So I started writing to Malenko's in Tampa, Florida. Talking to a lady called Phyllis Lee, who was the booker for Malenko's. I think she was also for WCW and places like that, Florida Wrestling. So she was writing back and forth to me. She told me what I had to do in concept of weight training and stuff like that. So I joined the gym. I had to weight train first. Looked all around Wales for a training school. Sports Council of Wales laughed at me when I asked about professional wrestling. What do you want to do a girly thing like that? It's not a sport. So again, like I say, looked around. Funny enough, then I was in Barry Island, and there was a wrestling match going on in Majestic in Barry Island. Of course, I was only 15 at the time, so I couldn't do nothing. I went talking to the fellow who was from Cumbran, just from me, so I got talking. He said, "Come down when you turn 16, and I'll put you in the ring." Great, excellent. Got down there on my first day on a Sunday. Did not training at all. Said, get in the ring. We put you in a rumble. We throw you off the ropes. Well, next thing I knew, I was lying on the floor, didn't know how to catch the ropes, knocked myself flat out on my first ever match. But I learned after that, always grab the ropes.
Yeah.
Lesson learned. Every Sunday then, I'd go down and they'd put me in the ring. Obviously, I was green. So they'd always end up beating me up, putting me in certain moves, always doing rumbles, putting the ring up, taking the ring down, learning everything like that. And then I turned 18, or just turned 18, and I had a chance to go to Florida. So I sold a couple of my drum kit. I was a big drummer. Sold my drum kit. My father helped me out, and it cost me nearly £1,500 from Malenko's. I went out there. First thing I did when I got off the plane, I met Mr. Malenko, and he said, "Right, fat boy." I said, "What do you mean, fat boy?" He said, "Look, you fat. So I'll soon train you down." Well, first thing went back to his house. I lived with him in Tampa. He had me doing squats, press-ups. No, straight off the plane now, mind. Squats, press-ups. Well, put it this way. I lasted a week, and I came home. I said, "I can't handle this." I said, "I'm missing my family." This was the first time I'd ever been away from home, mind. On a plane, abroad, anywhere on my own. Yeah. Missed my family, terrible, homesick. In fact, I think I spent more time in the air than I did in Tampa. Got back, and he did say to me, "Mind, on the plane, you will come back." I said, "When I'm 21, I'll come back." So I came back to this country, wrestled again, still down in Barrie, and around some other places. Got a bit more experience with, like, say, crowd work and stuff like that. And then when I was 21, I went back out, and rest is history. Again, lived with Larry, who came like my father to me. He does to all the trainees. He was a spectacular guy. Very knowledgeable. Knew everybody was in the wrestling business, from the WWF. Everyone knew him. They were the top school to be trained in America at the time. That's where I met Kane, Vulcan, the Gladiator, John Saru, who was a good friend of mine, still to this day. That's it, mainly. I just gone that way, going through bullying, lucky enough to have an address to write to, wrote to him, persevered with it. And like I say, went out on my own, took the chance, because in wrestling, you've got to take the chances. If you don't take the chances, you won't get anywhere. Even if you get knocked back, stand up, go again. Knock back, go back, do it again. And I tell you what, when a promoter sees you do that, and a promoter watches you do things around the ring, I'm always watching everybody in that room. I might sit back and do nothing myself. I've earned the right to, but I watch everybody else doing it. And that's it.
Nice. Like I said before we started, I know a little bit of your backstory, but you know, I love listening to everybody's backstory, because everybody is unique, and it's just great to listen to how everybody gets into the business. I think attitude goes a long way in wrestling. It's all about building respect. Because if you have a bad attitude, you're not really going to get anywhere.
If you've got an ego, out.
Yeah. It always just pays to have a good attitude. It may not be the best worker, may not be the best woman or whatever, showwoman, whatever. But
a good locker room will give you a good show.
Yeah.
You've got a locker room. You've got people who stab you in the back for certain things. You'll have a rubbish show. Everyone's happy on that show backstage. If there's any problems, you should come to the promoter or whatever. But if everyone's happy, you'll have a good show, and the crowd will see that.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, 100% agree on that one. Yeah, because I've been on shows where the backstage has just been awful, and
you can't wait to get in and go.
Yeah, it's a couple of years back in. I'm not going to name a promotion, just but the backstage wasn't great. I didn't feel welcomed or anything. So it's been like, well, I can't wait to go. As much as I hated being like it, but I was just the way it was. I remember being on the phone with my wife saying, I can't wait to get home. But then when you come to like VCW or you go to RWS, CWF, whatever, they've all, got a great backstage. All the guys, the girls are all brilliant. You can't beat it. And
well, I do. I always ask Luke, LD James, when he goes to RWS and how they treat you always as backstage. Like, I might not be there, but I'm always asking questions. I'm always watching YouTube and different things, catching up on what people don't realize that. Yeah. And I'm taking little snippets and thinking, well, you think you're better than you are, certain things. But I always ask Luke, what was the feeling like backstage? And he goes, brilliant, Dad. right, great, stick with that then. You know?
Yeah, definitely. Well, obviously, as a trainer, as yourself, you've got to look out for your trainees. It's not just a case of your trainees will be at the training facilities. So you can watch. You've also got to be watching what they're doing, every move they're making, and just to make sure they're the best.
You make sure they don't do things they're not trained for at the minute, and then make sure they don't get hurt. I've always said to all my trainers, as you know, if you don't know something, don't do it. That's simple as that. Don't be afraid to say to someone who's a bit more experienced than you, I'm sorry, I haven't learned that yet. Because it look better on you rather than try and do a move and you look absolute shit doing it.
Yeah, and potentially kill yourself, or harm another person.
Exactly.
So, moving on, we'll go to the next question. So back then when you was watching wrestling as a kid, who was your biggest influences?
Mick McManus, Roll Rocco, the old British style. Because we didn't really have the WWF. I see other programs you've done, other episodes, and people with the Ready Fusion thing on the corner of the room and clicking through to a Saturday snippet of WWF might come on the British wrestling. And you see Hulk Hogan. And to be honest, Hulk Hogan was massive inspiration to me. Seeing as I'm American, it was brilliant. And seeing the work different between the British wrestling, which is more crowd orientated, to get it over, something that you to do, to the American style, which is the wrestling sells a story to the crowd. And that's the difference I've seen. But mainly was the old heels of the British wrestling.
Yeah,
that's the ones I liked.
Yeah, they've done it. I think they knew how to do it.
Yeah,
like that. Yeah. Mick McManus just knew how to do it, especially like going up against. So obviously he was from a different era before you had all the younger World of Sport guys who was coming in then. So
Marty Jones, excellent, brilliant.
Yeah,
used to be watching him.
So
one day get him. I have taught him Marty. One day I'm going to get him down to the school and do a seminar, do some training. When I can finally get a ring, get a place to put the ring up properly and fully, and do it like I did the other unit.
Yeah, it'd be good. That'd be really good. Yeah. Really good seminars down the unit. We have Renee Dupree, Angelina Love. I think you had Robbie E, who was he's in WWE NXT now. Yeah. So you've had good names, you've had good people come and support you basically. How all your trainees, including myself.
I've had guest trainers like Cayman.
Yeah, Cayman.
Liz came. All willing to help out. Again, say no egos, good guys, willing to help the youngsters come into the business. Don't tell them any bullshit. Actually, come in and help them out, and that's what we want.
Yeah, definitely. It's exactly what you need. You need to have that guidance. It's the wrestling world is a bit of a pain in the ass at times, but
it definitely is. Sometimes I wonder why I like it so much. Sometimes it's a strange. You can go out, like I had a long time off when I got injured when I done my back in. I had a good 10 years off it, but I always watched on telly, and Luke was growing up. I'd wrestle Luke around the place, and we watched wrestling together. We watched Raw together, and I say, well, we do this. I never pushed Luke into wrestling, mind. Never really want him to do it. He wanted football, he wanted rugby. He'd done the two of them, and then one day he came to me and said, Dad, I want to do wrestling. And that's when I started Knockout. Because I wasn't going to do it. I thought I wouldn't do it. And another guy came to me called George Johnson. He wanted to do it. So it was literally the first students I had were Luke, George, and then Mike came along. A boy called Yayan. We was all upstairs in my gym I owned on hard floor. And I go, what I always say, if you can bump on there, you can bump anyway.
Yeah, it's true.
And it was just, and then lucky enough, Luke and George had to follow my footsteps and went to Florida to a guy called Frankie Reyes, who owned Florida Championship Wrestling, who was trained by the great Malenko as well, same as I was. So he was a Malenko alumni. So I knew they'd be well trained, and he put the finishing touches on him. Now, so it all blends in together well.
Yeah, that's.
You've got good guys behind him.
Yeah, definitely. Then, just like I said, it's what you need. You need some good guys behind you. Fortunately, I never had that. But then I'll be honest, I will be honest, when I came to Knockout for the first time, I did. That's when I actually had a family in wrestling, if you will. It's a Knockout family, as you say, and all that.
Yeah. I remember you coming in. You were a big lad. And I was like, oh, you said you've done it before, a bit of wrestling beforehand. And the best way to see what talent somebody got is run the ropes. If you've been trained well, run those ropes.
Yeah.
You go and you did it a bit.
Yeah.
I don't think you like training much, the fitness side of it.
No, well, that was because I was a big lad.
Walking with Big D.
Yeah, well, that's why me and Big D tag, you see. So but no, you mean like you said, when I first joined, I was big. I was pushing 20 stone.
Yeah,
and yeah, but now I've gone down to just was it 9?
You come up with your son as well.
Yeah, I love that.
He came up, and I had you in with me, helping with the kids' classes and stuff. That's how much I trusted you. If I didn't trust you, I wouldn't have had you in there.
No, that meant a lot. That meant a lot because it was something that I really would love to do when when I pass some stuff on. Bearing in mind as well, I had I think I had about 4 to 5 years off from wrestling. So when I came to you guys and you like do this, do that, I was like, I know this, but I could just get back into it,
Yeah.
But that's all for me, But yeah, like I said, Knockout, Pro Wrestling, BTW, they're all family to me. I love you all. You're all great. So anyway, let's talk about your first year in wrestling. What was that like? It's an active wrestler.
Well, in Britain.
Yeah, we do both in Britain.
When I come back from America, Britain was almost like a closed set. There was nothing I could get into. It was very cliquey. So I decided I trained up 8 boys from Blaenavon who came to me and asked me. I got a little van, a ring, and we went on all the campsites. Up to Scotland, Bridlington, North Wales. We was doing a full circuit. We was doing literally the campsites nobody else wanted. Right? They were shit. And all the big stars didn't want to do them. They were out the way. They came to us. Who am I to grumble? Good work for me. Good learning curve. We was out on the road going around, touring around every weekend. Brilliant. Loved it. Loved the everything about it. The away from home, and it was driving around. It wasn't mine at the time, so I took advantage of that, if you know what I mean. Just different things. And then I had an injury in my back from a fall and didn't even think I wrestled through that. So we've done technically about 3 years on the road, I would say, with sport, going around and petered out slowly. I was quite glad, really, because I got the point. Like I said, I was working with an injury, and I thought to myself, wrestling won't pay the bills. Wrestling will not pay the bills. I'm not that good. I'm never going to be a top WWE star. I knew that. I'm not a realist. This is almost like a hobby as such to me then. So I opened Unique Fitness then in Blackwood, a gym which I knew I could get money from and a living. Then I wrestled sporadically. Welsh wrestling. In fact, Alan Ravenhill was one who bought my wrestling ring to start Welsh wrestling.
Okay.
So he came down to see me. I was back in Christ. When did you get that? Must have been about 1995, 2000. So I don't know. It was really early. And I remember meeting him come to the gym, and he said, "Well, I've had no, it was longer. It was 2000 because Luke was in the ring as a baby. He was not jumping off the top ropes at 2 years of age. That's how he's so good now."
Yeah.
But, so I almost stepped back, and then I say, Alan had a good idea with Welsh wrestling, which I thought was a fantastic idea, and it still is to this day.
Oh, brilliant! Yeah.
His catchment is different to ours. like again, he is more British style wrestling and he's more kids orientated, where we are the American style and more adulty content. But his work idea is second to none. Alan works really hard.
Yeah.
And that's what I said to that. And what I done then, I mostly helped train others. A couple of boys from Abertillery, a couple of boys from Newport, Blaenavon, Welsh wrestling boys, was it Matt Powell, Rob Taylor, Ricky Hype. A couple of them were in Tays Community Centre. I think it was in Cardiff on a Saturday afternoon just to see what they could do. And I remember meeting Rob Taylor, Big Rob, you know.
Yeah.
And I remember going to put a move on him. I couldn't get my hand through because his bicep was in the way. And I thought, my God, he's fucking huge. But I remember him then being at the NABA bodybuilding show because I say I was into the gym and stuff. I remember at the NABA bodybuilding show winning the whole lot. I think he was only 18 at the time. Oh, he's a monster.
Yeah.
But that was my first year, 2 years in the business. Like, one was self-taught myself.
Yeah. That doesn't sound too bad.
I always had the back end of other people I could contact. Yeah. Like Carl Cotell, the one who showed me the rest in the beginning. Always had them to fall back on, you know.
Oh, nice.
I met Carl up in Cwmbran. We done Cwmbran when he was in Adrian Street. He was one giving taking Adrian Street around. That's the one who taught me, Carl.
I wasn't that.
No. He was with Adrian Street. He brought him over, like, so. Okay. He's a very knowledgeable guy, like Carl.
Yeah. Oh, nice. So, so that was your first year in Britain. So, what was it like in America?
America I only done when I was training out there. I done ICWA with Frankie Reyes, where I wrestled the Kangaroo Kid, which is John Saru, now Vulcan the Gladiator. Mikey Haynes, which is Prince Lucia from WCW. Manny Fernandez. Mainly all around the school. So I didn't actually go back out to America. I just done around here. Then I got, like I say, done 3 years this country, hurt my back. I knew America was a pipe dream then.
Yeah.
And I knew then it's pointless me going out there at being 50% fit and looking at the deck. Then go and making my thing say I'm injured, like I'm giving up. I've had enough.
Yeah. That's fair enough.
I got a business to run. Like most of the wrestlers I met in America were like Brian Blair. He had Brian Blair. He owned a Gold Gym I used to train at, and that's why I go into gyms because I was talking to him how to run a gym.
Nice. Fair enough, isn't it?
Yeah.
Nice. So let's talk about your time training with Boris Malenko then.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, let's hear a bit about it then.
Well, all my trainees have seen the board.
Yeah.
Everyone knows the board. If you're not a CUEBALLS trainee or a Malenko trainee, you will not know what this board is. William Regal uses it. I know that. It's a stretch board. Now, we used to get up at 7 o'clock in the morning, be at the gym for 7:30, and me and John and Glenn would train. Because I only had a 3-month visa, training normally took 6 months. But I had to cram 6 months into 3 months. So where other trainees would have days off, I never had a day off. I worked solidly 5 to 8 hours a day, every day. And I was doing press-ups, sit at the fitness side of it, the blow-ups. Then you do bridging. Then you do chain. Then you learn cell. I didn't really do character work because I didn't know what my character was at the time. Like it was the Candyman, and that only came about because it was nothing to do with chucking candy out to kids like a pervert. It was the barber shop thing. But of course, you had Brutus the Barber beefcakes. You couldn't use that. So Larry said to me, that's Boris Malenko, he said, Candyman, like a candy stripes. So yeah, I mean, these bottoms, like a candy stripe. And I haven't got the biggest legs in the world. I look like Johnny Bravo. I look terrible. But mine was I was a face. and was just getting a crowd and more being a technical wrestler. Like Luke is almost a copy of me.
Right.
He's technical, and that's the way we were taught to sell it in the wrestling way. And he was just beastous all the time. He was really, but the nicest guy. Like I say, he was a father figure to me. Things people would never know, but because I used to live with him and with John and with Glenn, and we used to have 15 other Japanese boys coming in and staying from the Japan territories and whatever. And we'd all be in a room together, sleeping on the floor. Now, mind, we didn't have mattresses. We had a thin mattress like that and a tiny thin pillow, because the idea was if you're sleeping on the floor, you won't want to sleep in. So when the alarm was off at 7 o'clock in the morning, you were up, and you was. And then you work all day, you was too shattered or anything else. You come home and you go to bed. So, but I remember going back, and this is something nobody knows. Larry was a big Benny Hill. Watched Benny Hill. Watched Mr. Bean as well. Loved all that kind of stuff. Now he'd come in, and his house was like a freezer. You come from the heat to Tampa into the freezer. He'd be sat there in his blue pants, and he had a bag on because he had cancer, and he had this. And he'd sit there watching Bean. No, not me little fella. He's getting on his time. Not me little fella, but I knew if I done something wrong, he could kick my ass.
Yeah,
he could put me in so many holes, I wouldn't know how to get out of. So respect there was 100%, 1000%. I miss him to this day. I think of him every day. I know Frankie Reyes and all the other trainees think of him every day. He was a father to all of us. And Dean's a lovely fella. Dean Salt, I went out with him a couple of times in the night, and we'd have a couple of Guinnesses, so he'd have Guinness, you know. Nice guy. I only met Joe once when he was working as a chemist. Rico Federico was another one who taught me. He was in the WWF. Again, nice guys, but you didn't mess about. In that ring, it was work, 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 work. If you want to fuck about, fuck off outside and fuck about. That was the motto. You're here to wrestle. That's it. And I was like, for 3 months I was out there. It was fucking hard. And I look at the training we do today.
That was going to be my next question. Yeah, go on.
Go on.
I was just going to ask. So, what's the training like back then compared to what it's like now?
Now it's easy.
I would say it's a bit easier.
It's easier now because me and Luke done the same as me, man, with Frankie Reyes. Is we're too afraid to push you too hard because I know the mentality is it's a laugh and joke at the minute, but it'll get me frustrated sometimes. I'm thinking, fucking hell, you got to, like, I'd have a chop, if I'd done something wrong, and one of the old guys, the train or whatever it is, he'd slap you across the chest. I'd have no ifs or buts. He'd slap you. And what's that, my world? He'd be like, what's that? He'd fuck about in you. And the people who are older, your peers, you respected.
Yeah.
You know, there was no ifs or shake. I know people don't like shaking hands. We can't shake hands now. But the first thing I was taught by a nasty Ned in the school was how to shake hands gently. And that's to show that you're not a stiff worker.
Yeah.
If you shake hands, whoa, like that, fucking hell, stay away from him. He's stiff as fuck. If someone shakes your hand like that, only in a wrestling context, mind. If you go into a pub, you don't shake anyone's hand in the public. Oh, hello. They think you're some fucking puff. There's nothing wrong with a puff, mind, being PC correctly. You know?
Fuck's sake.
Each what they want. I'm no small-minded bigot.
Oh, God. All right. And so,
yeah, I haven't had a drink of gin yet.
Yeah, jeez. I can't even imagine what you'd be like with bloody gin. Right. We're going to move on to my favourite part of the show now. So this is going to be CueBall's CUTOUT. So this CueBall's CUTOUT, you know how it works. I go on Facebook on a day that somebody's coming on. I stalk their profile. I find a picture, whether it be funny, embarrassing, or just nostalgic or whatever. So, yeah. So I'm going to pop this picture up. And if again, as like I always say during the editing, if the picture doesn't come up for whatever reason, I shall post it. Well, no, I put it on the recording. You guys see it. So, you see this? I don't know. I don't know what you want to say. If this is embarrassing, funny, whatever. I don't know. I was interested in this.
Well, I'm not doing what people think I'm doing, but that way.
Right. Okay.
That's John Saru. That's me as the Candyman. That's him as Kangaroo Kid. That is I'm not sure if that's ICWA or the Malenko, when we wrestled in Malenkos in the Sportatorium. Sportatorium in Tampa, that is. I'm sure that's Malenko's show. And that's me going him in Hammerlock. That's John selling it. That's me looking happy because I got one over on him for a change.
Yeah.
And that was a great sport. It's gone now, the Sportatorium. But that was a legendary place, the Sportatorium in Tampa, to wrestle. Many big stars have been through there.
All right.
So,
but did you win this match?
no.
Oh.
I didn't win hardly any matches. I always put the other guy over first. It's to me, right? It's not about winning and titles and shit like that. It's all about putting the other guy over. If you make it good, and then the other guy makes you look good, it sells a show.
Yeah, definitely.
Like you say, like I always say, we're there to wrestle because wrestling's the name of the business. But we're also there to tell a story, and to give everyone in that audience. It might be one guy in there, it could be 10 people, it could be 100 people in there. Every one of them got to leave that show thinking that was great.
Yeah, I agree.
And we all, wrestling, your opponent is your best friend at the end of the day. Don't hurt him, don't do anything to him. You want him to be looking good.
Yeah, I agree, definitely. Oh,
I love John. John actually is sent me a massive gift for VCW because, like I say, I'm trying to work with John now because he's Vulcan Championship Wrestling, VCW, and we're Valley Championship Wrestling. So he wants to have some guys from our school, or I would go to Australia and vice versa, and also bring in Florida with Frankie Reyes. So it was all coming together at one point, and then this fucking COVID started, and it all went down the tubes. It's all on the back burner. But can I show you the title?
Oh, yeah, I was just about to say it. Yeah,
go on. Sorry.
That's all right. So, a few people would know, us, the trainees will know. BCW and Andrew have actually, had a bout made now, the championship wrestling bout with VCW. So, we're going to do the grand unveiling of this bout. So, would you like to get it?
I got it right by here.
So we got the drum beats, or whatever it's called, and there it is. Absolutely beautiful. And as I said, when you put a picture up in the group, I just love how Welsh it is. It just looks really Welsh.
It's absolutely stunning, and it's heavy.
Yes,
really, really heavy.
It's lovely.
That belt is the last belt the guy made because he passed away after making this belt. And that's why I put the EBGBs on him or anything, but he passed away. Yeah. So this is the last ever belt that he made. I'm not sure if his company's still making them. Because if they are, we'll have another belt made. We'll have some tag champions made or something like that. So, but that was off John Saru. He said, "This is for you, mate, to make you happy in COVID-19."
Yeah.
He said, "I know you're struggling there." I said, I didn't realize what it was until he sent it to me. I was like, Jesus Christ, thank you very much. But that's a title. He did have one stipulation with the title, mind, but I can't say now. It's only one thing he wants. Well, I don't know. It's only one thing he wants to happen with that belt is LD James to wear it.
So he's going to win it first. That's what you're saying.
He most probably will be the champion first, and then he'll defend it against everybody.
All right. Okay.
He'll be a fighting champion. It won't, if someone goes against him, he's got to defend it. And I don't care who it is. So, as long as he makes me money.
Yeah. Well, that's it. Yeah, I suppose, yeah. Well, yeah. I know one or two.
You know this. I don't do it for the money.
Oh.
I do it for love. I've made nothing on wrestling, even the training schools. Doesn't bother me. I do it for you guys.
We all appreciate it. You know, it's
I know you do. I know. Like I say, we are a family.
Yeah, definitely. And I know one or two people who would definitely after that title. You know, when somebody thinks they're going to be getting it, and it's whatever his name is now.
You do know, mind. I'm always going to be the special referee in Luke's matches, mind.
Oh yeah, you are you? So basically, what you are saying is he's
nepotism.
Not.
Nepotism.
Yeah. Oh well. Well, I think
I'd never do that.
No, I know. I think Justin Powell, or whatever his name is now, wants a piece of that bout. I know. I think Stevie Jones wants shot as well. And
the thing is with VCW, it's not just going to be KPWA trainees in it. It's going to be open to everybody who deserves to be in VCW, who I think deserves to be in VCW. You know, will be given a chance at it. Like you've seen the roster we've had, for the last show we've had. The way VCW is going, it's going to be an annual show. We do one show and then it goes under for another year, and then it comes up and then it goes under for another year.
Yeah.
But we had nothing but bad luck with it.
Yeah.
So, but if you've got to be a certain talent to be on VCW, you've got to be wrestling for a couple of years. I know I'm just shit. People who've just come out of training to go in and become champion. That ain't happening. There's too many indie promotions doing that and not actually training people properly. And I like yourself, have been in the business years and high and mighty, and seeing people who've come in a year ago or 6 months getting pushes.
Yeah.
It's not fair. You know?
Yeah, I agree. Yeah. You know, that's it's all about what's the word? You know, it's like, you know, you earn it. Like you said,
Yeah.
you've got to earn it.
Take your dues.
Definitely, you know, and it's not just a case of, obviously you got to do the training. Everybody knows that, you know, you got to turn up, you got to have the right attitude, but it's also about being at shows. It's also, even if you're not booked, you know, being at shows, showing your support for your local promotions and help setting up the ring, or just help setting up the chairs, or being exactly. just whatever, you know.
Like I said earlier, I'm always watching everything. Your wrestling, VCW, is from the guys in the back doing the music, whoever it is, to the guys at the front wrestling. I'm going to try and get it so everybody in VCW, from putting the chairs out, who's booked, or ring crew, to get paid.
Okay.
And that's what it should be. At the end of the day, it's a business. And you're not going there, you are there to learn, but you're also giving your time up. Even if it's petrol expenses, £5 from coming from Cross Keys to Blackwood, wherever. It's still a nice thank you. It shows appreciation.
Yeah.
On my behalf, you know.
Yeah, of course.
Like I said, I'm not in for the money. I don't care if I don't make anything, as long as people go home happy and I don't lose nothing. Don't get me wrong. I don't want to be out of pocket by a couple £100. But I want everyone to have a bit of it, like.
Yeah. I mean, like, ever since I've been in wrestling, I've always been one that, obviously, sometimes, like, I don't drive, you know, I can't always help set up for that reason, but I'll always stay at the end if I can. And 9 times out of 10, I'll always be the last one to leave. I'll be the first one getting that ring down, first one sweeping up at the end of the night, you know, because that's how I was brought into the wrestling. You know, it's the
last show, VCW show, you came up to me and you said, "And I got to go," because we were actually running late.
Yeah.
It was over, mainly because some dick didn't ring the bell at a certain time. I don't know who that dick is, but, you know. Anyway, so you said to me, you went, "Can I go?" And I said, "Of course you can. You've got to catch a bus. There's no problem with that. At least you came." What I wouldn't have liked is someone shot off without saying anything.
Yeah.
You know, that's the worst word. But I knew you had to go, and you told me through the day, I got to go at certain times. I got to kind of know your circumstances. So I was okay, like.
Yeah. But any other time, I would have been there to do it. You know, well, it's like like all the other shows that, you know, that you've been on and we've been on together. I've always helped as much as I can, even when it comes to the advertising as well. That's another important thing. That's also paying your dues as well.
Yeah.
It's the little things. It's the little things.
I agree.
I could keep on about this all fucking day. I really could, but I can't. You know, it's the same when I was on Ricky Knight. I could have just spoke to him about fucking wrestling and showboating and all that. I could have. It's great.
Yeah.
So going on to my next question. So obviously you wrestled, as we know. So what was it like, you know, being a wrestler and becoming a promoter?
Due to my injury, I can't take a bump anymore, because if I do land locally, I'd be permanently disabled. I am willing to take that as a cost. Plus, my wife wouldn't let me anyway; she's dead against it. But wrestling, I do miss. Promoting, I think, because I've done it before as well. As an ex-wrestler, you see it more on the boys' side of things. Whereas a promoter who has never wrestled before, technically hasn't got a fucking clue. You know, I can see it from the boys' point of view. The stories, like I say, if you notice at the VCW shows, I don't get involved downstairs when all the boys are putting stuff together, because you can do that as long as I know who's winning, losing. I tell you the times you got. That's all I want to know. As long as you're not doing the same fucking moveset in every match, I don't want to know. All I know is I watch you, and I'm there. Once you go with that curtain, I'm a punter. I'm watching you the same. Then next show or next couple of weeks, I can say, well, you got to fucking pull this in. You got to pull this in. You know, you're doing this wrong. Different ways. You know, I pulled you up in a couple of things. I said to you before about things, and you do take it all in.
Yeah.
But as a promoter, I try to get the best deal for the guys. Like, I know I'm fed up with people come to me and go, "Oh, I'm worth I'm worth £100." Oh, ta-ra, you're on my fucking show then. Yeah. You know, I'll tell you how much you're gonna have, because it works on the fucking gate. I can't promise you £100 if only you're gonna make this 10 boys, and we only make fucking enough food all have 50 quid each. You know, so one show I had, they were literally gonna buy the show. So I worked out, I thought, well, certain people who've been in the business longer have a bit more, not over the top, maybe £10 more. And I was working, I thought, well, even when we asked for, this example, £10, this time I'm going to give him £20. He has £30, he's going to have £40. They don't know it yet, mind. But if it goes, if I can get more out of the, if they want to pay more, the guy's money goes up more. I am going to pay for I don't have to pay for a ring, so that takes that out. That goes to the boys. You know, that's how I work it. Yeah. Then you got, again, happy wrestlers, good show. They'll come back to me. They want to wrestle for me. It's a family. Yeah. But it's also a business for you guys. I'm working. I don't need another word. I'm working. I do it as a hobby, plus I see you guys happy. And if one or two of you, like Luke goes American or Australia or wherever, someone else goes, what would they say? They mention KBWA or VCW school, whatever. Oh, where are they training then? I can get resources from that.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
You know, and that's how I look at it.
So because I done a bit of promoting in my time. And I was young, you know. So
if you make it hard for yourself, it's going to be hard.
That's what she said. Yeah. So when I promoted, I was young. Like I said, I was 18, something like that. You know, I thought I knew a lot more than I did. And I ran a couple of shows, gave out more money than I should, you know, because people sort of try it on with you a little bit. And yeah, I ran a couple of shows, and then the last show I done, it completely flopped. I didn't have the money. That was my mistake. But if I ever did go back to doing like running shows or whatever again, then I feel I would do it better. You know, I got your guys. Yeah, I got knockout guys who I would definitely use. I don't see why I wouldn't. I don't know why I wouldn't. Yeah. So you know, whereas I done it all by myself last time. This time round, if I ever did, because you should never say never. Yeah, got it there. Yeah. I would have help this time. Yeah.
Oh, definitely. Like, I was asked to do a show before COVID to bring in Australia versus Wales versus America.
Yeah, I remember you speaking about
And
that.
I had everyone who was on the VCW South, everybody. I thought, well, hang on, why don't I do VCW boys, some against Americans, some against Australians? So otherwise, I'm bringing over fucking the cost of visas, cost of flights. Am I going to recoup that back?
Yeah.
You know, what venue's big enough to hold it around here to sell, which I'm not stepping on anybody's toes, like in Newport or Cardiff. You go, again, I'm respectful of the promotions. If they're doing that town, I ain't going to do that town. I've had a talk to Alan about a certain place, and he said no, and I respect that. Even if it's my hometown, mind. And I know everyone knows the venue, but I'm not. He's got that sewn up. I did ask him. He said no. I said, right, fair enough, Alan. I had to ask you first.
Yeah.
And I respect you. I respect it.
That's respect.
You know. And Alan was back to me. Thank you very much. Yeah. Like I say, we got a regular place in Lanarth, and I got 3 other places now. They're locked in. So when all this crap is over, we got 4 venues, and with Slam Masters as well, because I like Slam Masters. What John and Big D have done with that is brilliant. Again, two other trainees of mine going on. The Ronda got a good thing coming. I'm going to work with them. Again, trainees at KPWA. There's 3 promotions now with the VCW, Slam Masters, and the Ronda, which is going to be big in the Wales area, I think.
Hopefully.
I got a good feeling about it.
Yeah, definitely. But
we're not going to step on anybody's toes.
No, there's no need. There's just no need for it, is there? You know, just keep your head down, just do what you can, and that's all you got to do.
Have fun.
Yeah, that's it. Have fun. Yeah, definitely. So my next question for you is memorable moments. Can you remember any?
Oh, Christ, I got some embarrassing ones. Like I say, when I fell out the ropes, knocked myself out. I've shit myself in the ring. Where I took a bad.
Why doesn't that surprise me? Actually, that doesn't.
I was on a camp show, and the show was supposed to be 50 minutes long, and within, I think it was halfway long, I got dumped on my ass, and the worst thing happened ever in my life. And I rolled out and I had to roll out. I could not stay and carry on, so I had a count out. But that was horrendous.
Oh shit.
Yeah. With training, memorable times is seeing boys who start off knowing nothing, achieving things, and doing and persevering. One is Daniel Powell. You know, seeing what he's done is excellent. His work ethic is improved 100%. Everybody really, like yourself, seeing how you progress and gone into other promotions. Luke, outstanding wrestler, outstanding. Again, my assistant coach, and I couldn't be honest, I couldn't have done it without him, to be honest with you. When I had the heart attack, he stepped up. Same as James, JJ, helped me out. I got a shout out to Nigel as well from Exposure for that. When I had the heart attack, he did help out. He stepped in. Casey Wilde, seeing him come in, you know, I actually brought a list down of people who were doing. Can I go through them?
Back on. Yeah, this is your time to speak, man. This is your time.
I got LD James, Casey Wilde, Big D, CueBall, JJ Roberts, The Squad, Kenny Mandra, High and Mighty, Steve-O Jones, Nemesis, Necrofago, Dominic Price, Randy Price, Kay Sambrook, Ed Ferris, Oliver Satchwell, Justin Powers, and the one I hate saying, Nephilim.
Yeah, that's a weird Nephilim.
Clem, Ethan Thomas, Mikey Fine, George Johnson, Chris Leverage, Dan Carey, Michael Emanuel have all come through the doors of KPWA. They'll all be my don't get me wrong, all my trainers, I've helped them out, like Ed, learn the ropes. Higher mighty had used the ring and learned how to do the ropes because they were already trained elsewhere. So I will never take credit for someone who's been trained elsewhere. You know, I just helped them out. But all them have gone on and are working at the shows, helping other promotions, and I'm not being big-headed here, I am actually. I've helped out other promotions with the good wrestling and the good work ethic.
Yeah.
You know? So that's what I feel most pleasure in seeing. And my best memories.
Yeah, no, yeah, definitely.
Other than shitting myself.
Yeah. Love it. Yeah, I mean, like, all them guys that you listed, you know, obviously from when I've been with you guys and watched, some of them start from scratch, like AC Wild, Justin Powell, whatever he wants to be, Kenny Mantra, you know, watching guys like that. Also like Big D as well.
Yeah.
Watching them guys and just to see where they are now, they've all got potential. They really have.
Look at Big D. He came to the unit, and he was first thing he said to me, "I don't coach. You can help me. I'm like 30 odd stone." I said, "What the fuck?" I said, "Get out there and walk with the other fuckers. You're doing the fitness. I don't care what you do." And I remember him. I think he was on your first show, and he went, "Who would you like to wrestle?" And he said he'd like to wrestle me. I remember it. From my fucking head, I got it. I'll have him one day in the Vista ring. I might not wrestle him, but I'll have him in other ways.
Yeah. Okay. No, it's good. It's nice because, you know, I stepped away from Knockout, didn't I, for a while.
Yeah.
And then, you know, I still get in contact with a couple of people, you know, helped them out and brought them into place.
You was in a bad place there then.
Very bad place, yes. And, you know, I like I've said to everybody, like, you know, it was nice to be able to come back. And so I know I pissed people off. I know I did. And I've spoken to them, we've spoken out, you know, I don't know if I pissed you off. If I did, I do apologize, you know, it's in the past.
Yeah.
You know, but it was nice that you all let me come back.
Yeah.
And it was like when I had that first show back, you know, VCW in April, it was like I never went.
Yeah.
It just felt, I remember saying to my wife, like, Terry, that was so nice to be back. I felt back home, you know?
Yeah.
It was great. It was great.
I'm glad to hear it, but.
Yeah. Amazing. So, last question for you until I do the fan submitted questions. How would you like to be remembered after, you know, if BCW ever shuts its doors or?
I'd like to be remembered someone who helped out others at my own expense, at my own, not expense, that's the wrong word, helping others gain the dream they want. Wrestling is some people have gone on further than others. It's a dream. You start it looking for the big picture, the WWE. Unless you're exceptional. I hate to burst people's bubbles, but that's never going to happen. Be happy in the promotion you're in and make the promotions you're in better. To see the crowd, but my main thing is that I'd be like remembered saying, you can bump there, you can bump any fucking way.
And squats. Oh, them bloody squats, man. Jeez.
Squats. I love those squats. We're going to do 1,000 squats one day, mind. I had to do 1,000 squats, 1,000 press-ups, 1,000 sit-ups before we done 7 hours of wrestling.
Yeah, damn. But that's what I mean. That's what I mean about, you know, back then, it was more difficult than what it is today, you know, because I think everywhere, like yourself, you kind of let us off. Especially
in 100-degree humidity.
Yeah. I think I would happily say that we are quite fortunate. But, so that's how you want to be remembered. So this is the fan submitted questions now. I just like it if they would if they bring questions for the people who come on, you know, just because it's a bit of interaction.
Have you missed one question?
Sorry?
Have you missed one question?
I don't know, have I? Go on then, what is it?
You know me, ask people about mental health and how I feel about it.
Mental health?
Yeah.
Okay, so we speak up. That's fine, we'll speak about that. So, mental health in life and in wrestling. how do you deal with it?
Mental health. I suffer terrible with my mental health. People don't realize this. You do. You know, I've talked to you about it. My anxiety is terrible. I used to hate going training, thinking I wasn't good enough. And the way people in wrestling deal with it is you become the alter ego going for that curtain.
Yes.
I'm no longer Andrew James. I was either Candyman or the Wonder Andy Taylor. I was a heel, I was a face. But as soon as you go back through that curtain, the high for that night is on you, and the next day you go back to normal again. Anxiety kicks in. So I know a lot of people are suffering with mental health at the minute because of the COVID. Can't get out training. You do a fantastic job. I got to give it to you, Jack, for then people talk to you and saying things. I really do admire you for that. I got to get that in. I do admire you for that.
Thank you.
You made me a proud coach, I got to be honest. That's enough I want to say on that.
Yeah, that's fine. Thank you. Thank you very much, Coach. We do appreciate that. So we're going to go to the fan submitted questions now. First question is by your son,
All right.
Luke. So how did your loins create such a beautiful and amazing wrestler such as Aldi James?
I adopted him.
You adopted him. Yeah, because we have the joke that Glenn Jacobs, which is Kane.
Yeah.
Father.
Yeah, grandson. I balled his sperm when I got in there.
Fuck it up.
He is very gifted. I got it with Luke, but he doesn't realise how gifted he is.
Confidence. He needs confidence.
He lacks confidence. He lacks if he's got all the tools, bar the selling part of it. Like we have major conflicts over this, and but I know the more he does work for RWS and different places, he can come out of his shell. At the minute, he's been under my wing, VCW, KPWA. He's got to branch out and become himself. As soon as he does that, he'd be laughing.
Well, I suppose so. The way he works, obviously, he's brilliant performer. Wrestling ability, got it down. Obviously, he's got the certificates to prove it.
Yeah.
But you could also look at it as like in the old school wrestling, because back then you didn't sell. You didn't sell much. It was a case of the big moves you would sell, but the little moves you wouldn't really sell that much. You could look at it like that, or you just look at it as you just need to fucking sell. Start doing it,
It can be over the top. Some people do over the top sell. Like I remember Robbie saying he came to do a seminar. You never see anyone at WWE going the crowd like that. Never see it. You never see interaction like that. The only interaction you see with a crowd is maybe they might stamp their foot in a move to get the crowd going. That's very rare. It's all down to power moves in American wrestling. The crowd feed off a punch. The harder the punch, the higher the backdrop, the higher the thing off the top ropes, the more the crowd love it. The more dangerous it is in America, the better they love it.
Less thirsty.
Where the British audience prefer the more technical, selling it, and more of a comedy routine sometimes. Where you can get the one down, they nip up, take the one down, nip up, take the one down, nip up, and they praise each other. The crowd in Britain love that.
Yeah. Very independent indie scene kind of thing, yeah. Is each their own,
Yeah, I agree. But you all got to learn wrestling.
Yeah.
I don't care about character work. It's very important. But if you was on the fly with somebody and they put a move on you, didn't regard of it, you're stuffed. The moment much you sell on the floor, and you could be selling in a place you shouldn't be selling. Yeah. But I agree with you on character work is important for your character. You come out and you give it all the big thing. The big Deacon Bain goes, ooh, like that.
He's just a big softie. He should be called Big S. He was a big softie.
I can remember his first match. And I remember saying to Big D, when he come out, be loud.
Yeah, that's
And he lost his voice. And I said, someone, because because he's a big guy, I said, because you're a big guy, you've got to work on that with the audience being fat. So if you see somebody eating their food, try and nick the food off them. It's not the thing to say, but wrestling, it's not politically correct.
No, it is.
It's not politically correct. As soon as that becomes politically correct, wrestling's dead.
Yeah, I'd say so as well. Yeah. Next question is by George Johnson.
Yeah,
who is the best wrestler you have faced?
Oh,
it's a good question.
I would say Mikey Hamer, Prince Lucia. Prince Lucia. When I was in Malenko's, he was technical, but also he was hard style.
Yeah.
He hit you. And I like that kind of style. I hate trying to sell a punchy punch. And he was good though. He was one of the hardest and best.
There we go. Kieran Green, he's asking, you have helped create multiple stars over the years. Which is your biggest accomplishment as a coach? Well, sorry, what is your biggest accomplishment as a coach? Sorry.
I said earlier, seeing all the boys making it. Obviously, LD, it's got to be my son, because it's nice to see. I didn't want to go into wrestling. I tried. It was only when he asked me, is when George came down, and thanks to Frankie Reyes, he took George and Luke on in Florida. And I'm under the big. I'm always saying, I can take you so far. You've got to experience Florida or another country to know what it's like to travel and be in places you do not know. You can have a comfortable zone. Once you get to know people in RWS and different places, you know them. Yeah. If you go somewhere new and there's brand new people who've never wrestled before and you jump in the ring with them, it's totally different.
Yeah.
But I'd say LD, Casey was, when Sean came to the unit, I got to be honest, I was just about to lock up and going for a gin. And he pissed me off because he turned up late. He turned up just as me and Dan were finishing. And him and Dan going through and I thought, oh, Christ, he's picked this up quick. And for the next hour and a half, he was there and he was doing stuff. I think, I can tell you, this boy, he's got a talent, like.
Yeah.
Same as Kenny. Yeah. Kieran is unbelievable. He can pick it up like that.
Yeah, they are two guys, Casey and Kenny, that I've got.
Yeah, they're good backups. They're good. You know they're going to have a good show.
Yeah.
You know they're going to pull the crowd in.
Yeah.
Mikey Fine. Mikey's been with me from the start since 2015. You know, with Luke, and he didn't have a chance to go to America, which I was gutted for, because he got the look now. He got the attitude. He got the work on the mic done since he done that dwarfs thing. That brought him out a bit as well. You think, all of it really, you've all done well. There's a couple I wish had carried on, like Curtis, the squad, and Liam, there's Gob, you know?
Yeah.
But Adrian Stevens, I wish he carried on. Couple of Kean, that's coming through now. Who else is there? Jack, he's another one. Jack Degmore, are you? Ethan Thomas, so he's small. I could see him doing a match with Kai Sandbrook, to be honest with you. I got that in a pipeline if they get more training in with myself.
He's taking a choke slam off me.
Yeah.
He had no choice. You know, he had no choice, but he fucking went.
Yeah, he had no choice. But everyone really who's been through KBWA, does on VCW, all done well. I can't be. I am a proud coach. I really am. There's no one person I have had one disagreement with some. I wish the girls would have carried on. Laura, and Shamila, I wish they'd carried on. One boy I'm glad never carried on, but you know, we always have one. He wasn't ready for it, didn't want it, and didn't have the right attitude. But he's no longer with us now, so that's for everyone who's with us now. A good bunch of lads. You know, I can see good things coming for VCW and KBWA after this fucking lockdown.
Yeah. Well, that leads into my next question. by Dan Kerry. Where would you like to take VCW show? Oh, sorry, where would you like to take a VCW show?
Would I like to take it?
Yeah.
Or venue?
Well, yeah, I assume that's what you meant. Yeah,
Um,
Madison Square Garden,
and never gonna happen. I'd be fucking 10 people in the audience. Cardiff, St. David's Hall, something local. It'd be nice to go in there. It's an old building. It's got a lot of history.
Yeah.
I know Welsh Wrestling do it. I know they get a lot of people in there. It's not worth thinking too big because that's never going to happen. But I was looking at St. David's Hall if we ever got that American thing together.
Yeah. Good show.
So I've looked at that, and another place which we did pack up before was Blaenavon Workman's Hall, which is massive. But like I say, I got the Newbridge memo, which is nice. I hope I still got it now after COVID. But yeah, St. David's Hall, I'd say it'd be nice for history and for the Welsh boys, capital. That'd be a nice little place to go.
Nice.
We can all go on a piss after then.
Yeah, that'd be good. Again, yeah. Jason Cox. He asked a question, but you've already answered. Yeah. But I'll say just for the sake, just in case he cries. Why did you want to become a wrestler, and how did you end up training the Malenko way, the great Malenko? Obviously, at the start of this video, you mentioned all that, didn't you? But if you want to repeat yourself, that's fine. I
trained the Malenko way because I ended up in the Malenko Wrestling Academy in Tampa, Florida. I got into sport of entertainment because I was bullied in school and got into wrestling. And then I can also bully other people now in training.
Yeah.
Especially Jason now for that stupid question.
Yeah.
Yeah. You can have 1,000 squats.
Yeah, there we go. Chris Edmonds, this is last question. Yeah, Chris Edmonds. Who did you train with as a youngster? Who went on to become the biggest star?
I trained as a youngster. Britain was Carl Codell, and all his boys. Me out of that lot, and then Florida would be John Sue, is Vulcan Gladiator, and an actor, James Bond. Plus, he got his own wrestling academy. Plus, he got his own gym. Christ, it obviously got to be Glenn, hasn't it? Kane.
Yeah. He's in. That's
obvious. That's obvious. He's made in WWE. He was hard to wrestle, mind. He was hard to wrestle. I had a lot of training with Glenn, because he's such a big guy. He'd fling me around, body slam me, press me above his head. I remember him in Gold's gym. He was shoulder pressing 420s aside, like it was nothing.
He's a big, strong guy, isn't he?
I was 21. He was 26, I think he was. He's 5 years older than me, and he was pressing it like it was nothing. I was too afraid to spot him. I thought, Christ, I ain't gonna catch that.
Yeah. So do you ever speak to Glenn, or was it just
no? I spoke to him when WWE first came to Cardiff. I took my family and my brother, his wife, Luke, and his cousins, and we got backstage. I was in the crowd, and I had a picture of me and Dean, which I give the security people. And then WWE security people come out and picked us out from the crowd. We had to walk around backstage in the Gorilla Zone. Seeing Triple H walk past and a couple of others were in there. Edge, we talked to Edge. God, there's loads. And I was talking to Dean about certain things I'd done, how I was and all that. And then Glenn came up and talked to us. He came up to and just like a big shadow come over us because he's huge. I forgot how big he was. And he was saying to me, he said, I've always wondered where you are. He said, coming in on the plane, he said, I wonder if Andrew's going to be in Cardiff. And then he said, I wonder if Andrew's going to be in Birmingham. And then I one time, like I say, first time he got to Cardiff, I was there. It's nice to know that he thought of me, to be honest, because I hadn't seen him for, Christ, years.
Yeah.
But like I say, me, him and John had a very close bond because it was us three in the school. I had a key for the school because, like I said, I had to cram 6 months into 3 months training, and they would help me out. Like I say, it was a phenomenal experience for me. I was 6 foot at the time, and now he was, let's say, 7 foot. You try and pick up a 7 foot guy in a body slam. It was hard work. That he would try practice on me, like he would do chain on me. He's done MMA as well, mind. He's a good MMA boy. So, because that's what he also done Malenko's, mind, he done MMA. When it before become MMA, it was shoot wrestling.
Yeah.
And he had boys in there doing that before it become UFC.
Okay.
So we had boys in there, but they were fucking crazy. We had Japanese boys doing fucking bridges and land on their head and all that. Fucking idiots.
Bloody hell. Well, let's end on a high note. So anyway, that concludes today's Rambles.
Thank you very much.
Thanks for coming on, Andrew. It's been great to listen to your story. Been great to speak to you and see you again. You know, it's been a while. So yeah, you need people watching. See if I can get it right this time. So I always forget this bit. So like, subscribe, and turn on notification bell. So when I upload videos, you'll get notified on YouTube. There we go. I got it again 2 times in a row. I've been CueBall. I can't remember anything else. Anyway, blah, 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 blah. Stay safe, stay positive. Much love to you all.
God bless.
God bless. Hashtag, yeah.